Is daylight saving time this weekend? Is that right?
Yeah, I always remember that because I have to do a bunch of stupid behind-the-scenes crap that's a pain in the butt.
Do you think it would benefit the listening audience if I offered an explainer as to why we can't go to one time or another? There is a specific reason. We could go to standard time and stay there as a state if we wanted to. But no one wants to do that.
Well, and didn't Heidi, wasn't there a bill passed that if the states surrounding us do it, that we'll do it?
Yes. There was a trigger. I think there's a trigger bill. Sadly, if you go one direction, I can explain all of this for you, but if you go one direction, you can do it on your own. If you go the other direction, and it's the direction that everyone wants to go, you have to get federal approval to do that. Which is stupid, but...
So now the federal government controls time.
Apparently so, yes.
Great.
And every year for about a hot minute, or no, twice a year for about a hot minute, everybody gets upset about it. And people like me ask questions of our lawmakers about it. And every year or twice a year for a hot minute, people are like, yeah, let's finally do something. And then it happens, and 3 days later, no one wants to talk about it anymore. I have no idea whether or not we can affect change in this regard, but I want to try. Because I hate the time change. I don't hate standard time, and I don't hate daylight saving time. But I hate the fact that we go back and forth between the two. And if you hate one above the other, then let's just split the difference and call it an hour and be done. Just wears me out.
And we're not an agrarian society anymore. It's not necessary.
No, the only argument that I have heard, and it's not a good enough argument for me, the only argument that I've heard, and there you come, 6788, but think of the children. You know what? The hell with your kids. If you can't get your kids out to the bus stop in a safe and orderly fashion and it's a little bit dark outside, then I don't know what to tell you. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but I mean it. These parents with these kids stop any action on this activity every time we talk about it. The claim is that if you go to daylight saving time year-round, which is what most everyone wants to do, that means you have more light in the evening as opposed to in the morning. Here come the parents. Yeah, but my kids, it's dark when my kids go to school, and it would be dark when they go to school, and I don't want it to be dark.
Well, we'll just tax everybody to build them night lights outside.
Okay. Yes. Let's promise every child a street light wherever they stand for the bus. We don't ever have to fulfill the promise. We never have to fund it. Let's just make the promise so they'll shut up so we can get this done and over with. Buy them a dadgum flashlight, says Sally. She didn't say that, by the way. I actually cleaned that one up.
You know what? Everybody gets a pair of those kicks that have lights in the heels. There you go.
6298 says, if it were your dog, it would be more important.
And?
Well, yeah. My dog doesn't need to go to school. My dog is perfectly smart as it is. Sorrel Book was never on Andy Griffith's show. I just want to clean that up because there's some people that are very upset that you said so. I don't remember necessarily.
You know what I'm thinking of? He did an episode where he played a general on MASH. That's what was coming to mind.
He did play a general on. Yeah. I mean, he played a lot of shows back. I mean, it's easy to. I mean, he was on Gunsmoke at one point. I mean, he was on a lot of different television shows back in the day. But
yeah, he was like one of those go-to character actors for TV back then.
And hated later on in his life, kind of was annoyed by the fact that he became known as Boss Hogg. You know, he didn't talk that way.
That's a price of success, baby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's you know what? I am certain that occasionally, when Kiss plays these stadiums, they get annoyed having to play rock and roll all night and party every day. But you know what? There it is. Rolling Stones kind of get annoyed at having to play Satisfaction, but there it is. Just start school later. I agree with a lot of you super texters on the Members Nutrition super text
Or
line.
just abolish federal education and go to the daylight savings time.
No more public education, and let's go all to daylight saving time, and we'll be done with it. I don't care which we do, but I will say this. I just hate the idea that we do this. I feel like it's stupid. I feel like and I'm not kidding, most Americans hate it. They hate the change. And and tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me how it wouldn't work, because we get stuck on which way we're going. Are we going to go to standard time, which we're on right now, or will we stay with daylight saving time? And invariably, most people want to stay with daylight saving time. But then you get the kids argument. Well, but I don't want my kids to be standing at the bus stop. And once the kids argument gets cranked up, all of the politicians run fleeing into the darkness because they don't want to be seen as the guy that doesn't care about your kids. Well, I'll be seen as that guy. I think it's high time that you care about your kids. You stand out there with a flashlight with your kids. You had them. I didn't have them. Why do I have to suffer changing my clocks twice a year because of your kids? $89.97. Isn't it dark at the bus stop in the morning in wintertime anyway? I think so. I think what they're saying is that it would be either darker or it would be dark longer. And how many kids are actually riding the bus to begin with? Members Nutrition Super Text Line, very active. Do you even have kids, Matt? How many million illegals in this country? Yeah, let's have our children stand out there in the dark. Perfectly safe. A.
Stranger danger. Stranger danger.
I do not have kids. B. If I had kids, I would be fully willing and prepared to protect my children myself and not have an expectation that the rest of society has to change our activities to protect your kids for you. That's your job, not mine. And I hate to be the first person to tell you that, but you had them. I did not. You know, I mean, I'm going to come off, if I'm not already, as a little anti-kiddist, but I'm willing to accept that characterization of my attitude about this when I say it. Have you ever been to a big gathering and people with kids and strollers think that they own the joint?
Yes.
Why do they think they own the joint?
Or even like if you're in a theme park or something like that, especially, I have a stroller. That gives me the right of way. No, it doesn't.
I have a kid and my kid's annoyed. Do you mind if I get in front of you for whatever reason? Or I have a kid and my kid really needs this or that or the other. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to live in a civilized society, so I'm going to let this happen. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why are you getting special privileges because you procreated? It's not that hard. You did not do anything that special.
In fact, every person on the planet is designed to do it.
Right. That's basically how we continue to function as a society. Now, see, here it comes. Matt Murphy hates kids.
Correct. Fact check, true.
Yeah. I mean, if kids weren't so awful. In my defense, if kids weren't so awful.
Let's be honest, though. You don't hate kids.
I hate parents.
Other people's kids.
Yeah, my kids are perfect. My kids are great. They never give me any back sass or back. I mean, I don't hate all kids. I like Chris Hand's kids. His kids are great. They sound great. Never given me any back sass. I just feel like as a society, if we can't manage to figure this one out, we are doomed. You know what? Donald Trump needs to come out with this plan today, this week. President Trump, if you're listening to the Matt Murphy radio show, and I know you do, go ahead and come out and announce, as President of the United States, you're going to push an initiative by which the Congress of the United States goes to daylight saving time, and we stay there. And for all of you parents who are worried about your kids in the dark of night having to go to school, I want to abolish public education, too, so you won't have to worry about any of that if I'm in Trump's cabinet.